In Commitment 2024, a new poll this week indicates one big problem facing Americans could be the driving force in this year's elections.
And as West 2 News political reporter Greg Fox shows us, it could overshadow what has been the leading issue in Florida U.S. Senate race.
My opponent is a complete liar.
Republican Florida Senator Rick Scott ramping up his attacks on Democrat Debbie Mucarsel-Powell and the former Congresswoman's support of abortion rights.
She's a socialist, she's a liar, and she's a radical. I've been clear, I am pro-baby, I'm pro-life.
As we previously reported, Scott's abortion position has fluctuated. In March, the Tampa Bay Times reported Scott was against Florida's proposed 6-week abortion ban. But the following month, The Hill reported Scott said if he was still governor, he would sign the 6-week abortion ban bill. Scott claims Democrats want abortion up to the moment of birth, though Mucarsel-Powell has never stated that. And according to VoteSmart, she had no key votes on abortion while in Congress. Her take on Scott's latest comments?
He understands very well that this is not going to bode well for him in November. And so he's trying to run away from the reality, which is that he's the extreme radical supporting an extreme ban on abortion.
Democrats believe Scott is vulnerable because he barely won election to the Senate back in 2018. But back then, there were roughly the same number of Democrats and Republicans registered in the Sunshine State. Right now, Republicans have an 800,000 registration advantage over Democrats. And a new poll shows Democrats have an even bigger challenge, the economic struggle facing Americans. 60% say they have less money for a personal emergency than 12 months ago.
When you are in that situation as a voter, it's really hard to care about some of the other things.
Dr. Stephen Neely is one of the USF pollsters. On the question of inflation impacting one's ability to pay bills, 69% agree, 31% disagree. And on whether pocketbook issues will drive voting decisions this year, 89% of Republicans agree. So do 57% of Democrats. And the coveted independent voter, a huge 73%.
I think that really underscores the magnitude of the issue and how much inflation is driving people's concerns, driving people's voting intentions, and just driving kind of the shape of the race right now.
With the same poll showing just 42% of Americans supporting President Joe Biden's handling of the economy, Republicans like Scott could see a big advantage in luring independent voters. Greg Fox, West 2 News.
Scott may first have to endure a primary. Republican attorney and businessman Keith Gross of Melbourne has raised $1.3 million so far in his challenge for the GOP nomination. And Mucarsel-Powell could face a primary challenge from Palm City Democrat and brother of 2 Live Crew rapper Luther Campbell. Candidate Stanley Campbell has raised more than $1 million so far.